You weren't born into wealth. You were born into a world that didn't want you. Ingolstadt, Bavaria, 1748. Your father dies before you learn to walk. Your mother can barely feed you. Your uncle, Baron von Eichstätt, takes you in. He's a Freemason and a scholar. He enrolls you in a Jesuit school. The Jesuits don't teach you to think. They teach you to obey. Memorize. Repeat. Don't question. You question everything. You're 8 years old and already reading books that could get a grown man thrown in prison. Voltaire, Rousseau, banned philosophy hidden under your mattress like contraband. Bavaria is a Catholic fortress. The church decides what you think, what you read, who you marry, and when you die. Priests have more power than judges. Kings kneel before bishops. Reason is a crime. You're growing up inside a cage made of incense and Latin prayers. By 15, you hate the Jesuits. Not because they're cruel, because they're brilliant. They built the most effective system of control the world has ever seen. Schools, universities, confessionals. They don't need swords. They own your mind. And that's worse. You study law. You devour every forbidden text you can find. David Hume, Adam Smith, the French philosophers. These men write about freedom, equality, reason, things that don't exist in Bavaria. You graduate top of your class. By 24, you're a professor of canon law at the University of Ingolstadt, the youngest in history. You should be grateful. Instead, you're furious. The Jesuits still run the school. They control the curriculum, the hiring, the money. You're a puppet with a title. Congratulations. You try joining the Freemasons. They have the structure, the secrecy, the influence. But when you attend meetings, you find old men performing rituals they don't understand. Passwords, handshakes, costumes, no philosophy, no revolution, just theater. You're disgusted. If no one else is going to build the machine, you'll build it yourself. May 1st, 1776. The same day America is brewing its revolution across the ocean, you light a candle in a dark room. 4 of your best students sit around you. Franz Anton von Massenhausen, Max Edler von Merz, Andreas Zutor, Bauhoff, 5 men, 5 candles, an oath of eternal silence. You call your group the Perfectibilists, those who pursue perfection. Later, you'll change the name to the Order of the Illuminati, from the Latin Illuminatus, the Enlightened Ones. You choose your code name, Spartacus, the slave who made Rome tremble. Massenhausen becomes Ajax. Merz becomes Tiberius. Every member gets a classical alias. Every city gets a code name. Munich is Athens. Vienna is Rome. Ingolstadt is Eleusis. All correspondence is written in cipher. If a letter is intercepted, it reads like nonsense. You're 28 years old and you've just started the most infamous secret society in human history. Your membership, 5 people. Your budget, 0. Your ambition, reshape the world. Modest start. Your goals are simple and insane. Abolish monarchy. Separate church from state. Replace religion with reason. End hereditary privilege. Create a society where merit matters more than bloodline. In 1776 Bavaria, saying any of this out loud means prison. Saying all of it means death. So you whisper, you recruit, you manipulate. You build the order like the Jesuits built theirs. 3 tiers. The bottom, novices. They know almost nothing. They follow orders. The middle, Minervals. They study philosophy, morality, science. They report on each other. The top, the mystery class, priests, regents, kings. Only you know who sits at the very top. Every new recruit hands over a dossier. Friends, enemies, books owned, weaknesses, debts, secrets. You collect confessions like a priest, but you don't forgive sins. You file them. You use them. You need leverage, because loyalty alone is fragile. The system works. In 2 years, you have 60 members, mostly students and young professionals. Doctors, lawyers, minor nobles, they're hungry for change. You feed them purpose. But you need more. You need power, real power. And that means the Freemasons. 1777, you join the Masonic Lodge Theodore of Good Counsel in Munich. You walk in as a new member. Within months, you're running operations inside the lodge. You don't convert Masons to your cause. You replace them. Like a cuckoo bird laying eggs in another bird's nest. The lodge's resources, its network, its money, they all start serving the Illuminati without most Masons even knowing. Then you meet the man who will change everything. Adolf Freiherr von Knigge. A baron, a writer, a former Freemason with deep connections across Germany. His code name, Philo. Nig is everything you're not. Charismatic, diplomatic, organized. You're the brain. He's the engine. Together, you redesign the order from scratch. Nig builds 13 degrees of initiation, elaborate rituals, oaths, symbols. The owl of Minerva becomes your emblem. Wisdom watching from the shadows. He opens doors you couldn't kick down. Noblemen, politicians, intellectuals. The membership explodes. By 1782, you have cells from Italy to Denmark, from Warsaw to Paris. Roughly 2,000 members, maybe 3,000. No one knows the exact number because the system is designed so that no one sees the full picture except you. Among your recruits, names that shake Europe. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, author of Faust, the greatest literary mind in Germany. His involvement is debated, but his connection to the order is documented. Johann Gottfried von Herder, philosopher and theologian. Duke Ernest II of Gotha. Duke Charles Augustus of Saxe-Weimar-Eisenach. Astronomer Johann Bode. A total of nearly 1,400 identifiable members, a third of them also Freemasons. Nobles, entrepreneurs, scholars, military officers, civil servants. You've built a shadow government inside the real one. You place your people in positions of power. In the Bavarian Ecclesiastical Council, Illuminati members get elected treasurer. In Ingolstadt, Jesuit department heads are quietly replaced by your men. You don't need a revolution. You're doing it from within, silently, like termites in a cathedral. But empires built on secrets have a fatal flaw. Secrets leak, and yours are about to explode. The cracks start inside. Nig is tired of you. You're paranoid. You spy on your own members. You set them against each other like chess pieces. You demand absolute obedience while preaching freedom. The irony isn't lost on anyone except you. Nig confronts you. You argue. He calls you a tyrant hiding behind philosophy. You call him ungrateful. In 1784, he walks out, takes his connections with him. The order loses its best organizer at the worst possible time, because the Bavarian government is watching. A courier is struck by lightning. His body is found on a road with Illuminati documents sewn into his clothing. Police read them. Inside, plans for restructuring society, coded messages, membership lists, defenses of atheism, instructions for performing abortions, recipes for invisible ink, arguments that suicide can be justified. For Catholic Bavaria, this is nuclear. Karl Theodor, Elector of Bavaria, issues his first edict on March 2, 1785. All secret societies are banned. Membership is a criminal offense. Police raid homes. Documents are seized, published, broadcast to the world. Your secret network is naked under the spotlight. You're stripped of your professorship. You're banished from Bavaria. You flee to Gotha, where Duke Ernest gives you shelter. Behind you, the order collapses like a house of cards. Members are arrested. Some are imprisoned. Others are exiled. In 1787, Karl Theodor issues a third edict. Membership in the Illuminati now carries the death penalty. You sit in Gotha writing books no one reads. A complete history of the persecutions of the Illuminati in Bavaria. A picture of Illuminism. an apology for the Illuminati, an improved system of Illuminism. You're screaming into a void. The world has moved on. You haven't. You remarry, you have children. Nanette, Charlotte, Ernst, Karl, Edward, Alfred. You teach philosophy at the University of Göttingen. A quiet life for a man who once wanted to topple kings. November 18, 1830. You die in Goethe at 82 years old. No fanfare, no obituary worth reading. Just an old professor who once built a machine that ran for 9 years and shook nothing. Or so everyone thinks, because the real story is just beginning. 1797. You've been dead to the world for 12 years. But 2 men are about to resurrect you as a monster. Augustin Barruel, a French Jesuit, publishes memoirs illustrating the history of Jacobinism. John Robison, a Scottish professor, publishes Proofs of a Conspiracy. Both books say the same thing. The Illuminati didn't die. They went underground. They infiltrated the Freemasons. They caused the French Revolution. They're coming for every throne and every altar in Europe. The books are bestsellers, translated into every major language. Panic spreads across the continent and leaps the Atlantic. In America, Reverend Jedediah Morse preaches against you from his pulpit in Massachusetts. He reads Robison's book and tells his congregation the Illuminati are already inside the American government. George Washington writes an open letter. He acknowledges the Illuminati threat, but insists America has been spared. The first president of the United States just name-dropped your dead Bavarian student club. Congratulations, Spartacus, you're famous. Barruel goes further. He connects the Illuminati to the Knights Templar, the Freemasons, and the Jews. One vast web of evil stretching back through centuries. He creates the template, the blueprint for every conspiracy theory that will follow for the next 200 years. Your dead order just became immortal. Now here's where it gets interesting. The dollar bill. Take one out. Flip it over. An unfinished pyramid with 13 steps. Above it, an eye inside a triangle. The all-seeing eye. Below the pyramid, Roman numerals M, D, C, L, X, X, V, I. 1776. The year you founded the Illuminati. Also, the year the Declaration of Independence was signed. Coincidence? According to historians, yes. The Eye of Providence is a Christian symbol, used since the Renaissance to represent God watching over humanity. It was proposed for the Great Seal by Pierre-Eugène du Cimetière in 1782. He wasn't an Illuminati member. Neither were the other designers. The 13 steps represent the original 13 colonies. The inscription Novus Ordo Seclorum means New Order of the Ages, not New World Order, but conspiracy theorists don't care about context. To them, the pyramid is the hierarchy of a shadow government. The eye is elite surveillance. The Roman numerals are a tribute to you, Spartacus. And the phrase New World Order, that's the plan. The pyramid didn't appear on the dollar bill until 1935, when President Franklin Roosevelt approved the new design. Roosevelt was a Freemason. That single fact connected every dot for millions of believers. One symbol, one bill, one theory that refuses to die. The Russian Revolution, 1917. The Romanov dynasty, 300 years of monarchy, collapses in months. A conspiracy? Some say yes. And they point at you. Your dead order. Your ghost network. The idea that the Illuminati engineered the fall of the Tsar becomes a staple of right-wing conspiracy thinking for a century. November 22, 1963. Dallas, Texas. President John F. Kennedy is assassinated. Lee Harvey Oswald pulls the trigger, but millions refuse to believe it. A lone gunman? Impossible. There must be a conspiracy. And who runs all conspiracies? You know the answer. Your name surfaces again. The Illuminati. A Bavarian philosophy club that lasted 9 years is now blamed for the defining assassination of the 20th century. The logic is circular and beautiful. If the evidence doesn't exist, it's because they hid it. If experts deny it, they're part of it. If you can't prove it, that proves it's real. You built a self-sustaining machine, not of influence but of paranoia, and it runs on its own fuel. 1963, a different kind of explosion. Carrie Thornley and Greg Hill publish Principia Discordia, a satirical religious text worshipping Eris, the Greek goddess of chaos. It's a joke, a counterculture prank. But embedded in the joke is a deliberate campaign. They start sending fake letters to newspapers signed by the Illuminati. They plant contradictory conspiracy theories to see which ones stick. All of them stick. In 1975, Robert Shea and Robert Anton Wilson publish the Illuminatus trilogy, a sprawling, satirical novel where the Illuminati control everything from the music industry to the Catholic Church. It's fiction, but it reads like revelation. The book becomes a cult classic. It inspires an entire generation of conspiracy thinkers who can't tell the difference between satire and scripture. In 2000, Dan Brown writes Angels and Demons, the Illuminati versus the Vatican, antimatter bombs under St. Peter's Basilica. Tom Hanks runs through Rome decoding symbols. The movie grosses nearly $500 million. 5 Bavarian students in a candlelit room have become a Hollywood franchise. Jay-Z throws up a triangle with his hands at a concert. Beyoncé covers one eye on an album cover. Rihanna, Madonna, Katy Perry, all of them flash pyramids and eyes in their music videos. Conspiracy theorists lose their minds. The puppets are revealing themselves. But the truth is simpler and more cynical. Illuminati symbolism sells. A triangle on a poster adds millions of clicks. Mystery is marketing. Scandal is currency. The stars know it. They feed the beast because the beast feeds them. Maybe we're in a secret society. Maybe we're not. Try and prove it. Meanwhile, you're lying in a grave in Goethe. Your real legacy: 5 students, a pile of coded letters, and 9 years of arguments about philosophy. The mythical legacy: a shadow government that controls Hollywood, the Vatican, the Federal Reserve, and every war since 1789. The two have nothing in common except the name, but the name is the weapon, and it never rusts. Fast forward. The 20th century. The Illuminati aren't just a conspiracy theory anymore, they're an industry. In 1971, German author Udo Holey, writing as Jan van Helsing, publishes books connecting the Illuminati to world banks and global cover-ups. He gets banned in multiple countries. Doesn't matter. The books go underground. They sell millions. In America, radio hosts build empires on Illuminati fear-mongering. Every mass shooting, every economic downturn, every political scandal loops back to you. Your face appears on T-shirts, coffee mugs, and phone cases. You've gone from a Bavarian professor to a pop culture icon worth billions in merchandising alone. The internet makes it worse. YouTube rabbit holes, Reddit threads, TikTok videos where teenagers decode Illuminati symbols in serial commercials. You once needed months to recruit a single nobleman with coded letters and personal meetings. Now, your myth recruits millions in seconds with a Wi-Fi connection. The Illuminati subreddit has more active members than your order ever did, and none of them have read a single word you actually wrote. There's something you should know about your own symbol. The all-seeing eye that everyone associates with you, it was never yours. Your actual symbol was the Owl of Minerva, the Greek goddess of wisdom, the owl that watches in silence. That symbol never went viral. It's not dramatic enough. The eye in the triangle is a Christian icon from the Renaissance. It represented the Holy Trinity and God's omnipresence. The Freemasons adopted it later. You never used it. But nobody cares. The eye is sexier. It fits on a dollar bill, a ring, a tattoo. It looks sinister. An owl looks like a bird. Marketing always beats history. Your real symbol sits in dusty academic papers. Your fake symbol sits on the most traded currency on Earth. That's the ultimate irony. The world obsesses over a symbol you never used, created by a man most people couldn't name. If you stopped someone on the street and asked who started the Illuminati, most would say the Rothschilds, or the Rockefellers, or some shadowy council. Almost nobody would say Adam Weishaupt, canon law professor from Ingolstadt. You're the most famous anonymous man in history. Let's talk about the secret nobody tells you. Most real conspiracies are boring, exposed, documented, and prosecuted. Watergate, Iran, Contra, Enron, these were real. They had evidence, paper trails, whistleblowers. They were messy, human, and small compared to the myth. The Illuminati conspiracy has none of that. No evidence, no whistleblowers, no paper trail past 1787, and that's precisely what makes it invincible. You can't kill something that doesn't exist. You can only kill something that does. Your order was killable. The Bavarian government killed it with 3 edicts and a handful of police raids. But the idea of the Illuminati? That's immortal, because it lives in the one place no government can raid, the human imagination. Here's the scoreboard of your life, Spartacus. Years the order existed: 9. Members at peak, roughly 3,000. Countries infiltrated, at least 10. Jesuits removed from positions, several. Monarchies overthrown, 0. Religions abolished, 0. Books written in exile, 4. Books anyone read, 0. Members who betrayed you, too many to count. You died at 82 in a borrowed house, writing defenses of an organization the world had already turned into a monster. You wanted to be Prometheus, bringing fire to humanity. Instead, you became Frankenstein. Your creation escaped you, grew legs, and terrorized the village for 250 years. Why won't the Illuminati die? Because they're the perfect empty frame. You can hang any picture inside. Financial crisis? Illuminati. Pandemic? Illuminati. Election you didn't like? Illuminati. Celebrity you distrust? Illuminati. The name is a Rorschach test. People see in it whatever they fear most. And here's the deeper truth. People want to believe in the Illuminati, because the alternative is worse. If there's no secret group pulling the strings, then no one is in control. Wars start because of stupidity, not strategy. Economies crash because nobody knows what they're doing. Presidents get shot by loners with mail-order rifles. That's terrifying. A world of chaos with no puppet master. So we invent one. We give him your name. We draw his eye on the dollar bill. And we sleep a little better knowing that someone, somewhere, has a plan. Even if that someone is a villain. You wanted to enlighten humanity. You ended up giving it the most resilient ghost story ever written. Your name became a synonym for darkness, even though you spent your life fighting for light. Your code name was Spartacus. He led a slave rebellion and lost, but his name lived for 2,000 years. Same with you. The Order of the Illuminati died in 1785. The legend of the Illuminati will outlive every government on Earth. You're sitting at your desk right now. Maybe you glanced at a dollar bill today. Maybe you saw a triangle on a music video. Maybe someone told you the Illuminati are real. And for a second, just a second, part of you wondered. That's the real power. Not secret handshakes or coded letters. Not assassinations or revolutions. Just a whisper in the back of your mind that maybe, just maybe, someone is watching. And that whisper started with 5 candles in a dark room in Bavaria, 250 years ago. You lit them, Spartacus, and they're still burning.